You know I made you right. You were so green. I saw you. I found you. I spit shined you until I got that backwood stink off your thinking. Oh my God. Oh my God. Anywho, what's up, everybody? This is your girl, Miss Sophia the Diva. I know I am so late getting my Queen Sugar reviews. I'm 2 episodes behind, but I am determined to do this. Life has happened to Diva, but Diva is back, and I am fighting with everything I've got. As far as some things happened that I just didn't expect to happen, I kind of knew they eventually were going to happen, but I was just like, surely they wouldn't do me this way, but you know what? Loyalty these days don't mean shit to some people. But I'm not here to talk about my problems. We talk about those on the Diva Disturbed, which I hope you've been checking out and watching. But we are going to talk about this episode. Again, I apologize. But this one is called By the Spit, and appropriately so, because you heard from my little brief monologue of Octavia's speech to Nova that we will revisit during this review, and how she went in on Nova. But let's just get some of the not lesser storylines, but some of the smaller storylines. There were two big storylines. You have two sisters, whose lives are taking different directions. Same father, but different directions. So first up, and this is not first, but Micah's girlfriend Kiki. Sister Kiki is over Micah. I think the militant Micah is not someone that she was expecting or somebody that she wants to deal with. It's too radical, it's too dangerous, and she likes playing it safe. So I don't know what's going to become of that relationship, but, he tried to get her to go to the prison to visit Aunt, and she was like, I don't want to go. So basically, I think that little relationship is over. I was really hopeful. But, we all evolve, and, when you're teenagers, you're always going to evolve. Okay, so Vi in Hollywood. Things aren't looking too good, thanks to Nova for going and visiting Jimmy Dale, who showed up to town and kind of just killed Vi's libido. Yeah, they ain't getting it on in the bedroom. Vi and talked to the doctor. The doctor has said to her, it's not your lupus medication, honey. Has a major life change, something come along to upset you, a trauma, or anything like that? And she was like, oh yeah. And so we know it's Jimmy Dale. At one point during the episode, Hollywood comes home on a motorcycle. He done bought himself a road hog. I can't get with the motorcycle thing. I'm like, Vi, you ain't gonna get me on that death ride with you. So needless to say, in this conversation, Vi tells Hollywood that, when Jimmy Dale came, something happened. I know I haven't been myself, and I'm sorry for that. And she says, I think I'm going to need some time. And she was like, as in time away from you. I think I need space. And Hollywood goes, well, what do they say? In sickness and in health, in good times and bad. And Vi was like, what did I ever do to deserve you? Girl, I don't know, but all of us need to get us a Hollywood, honey. It would be nice to find a Hollywood in this world. I don't know what is going on with the men folk in this world today, but it's very disturbing. But either way, I know it's fiction, but I know somebody had to have been inspired by some sort of love like that at some point in their lives to write this. So needless to say, I guess Hollywood and Vi are going to take a step back because, she can't even perform her wifely duties thanks to reliving the trauma of Jimmy Dale. Sometimes we bury these things and then they coming back up in your face and you're just like, oh my God, oh my God. Like I remember I had a manager that terrorized me on my job. And I remember when he finally left, it was like such a sense of relief. And then sometimes when I would see him, even though I was like, don't nobody care about him, it is what it is. He did what he did. But then sometimes I would see him, sometimes he would show back up for meetings or whatever. And I would just kind of feel like my heart would jump. It's like, oh my God, it's like reliving a traumatic event. And it's just ridiculous. So I feel on that. Blue is going to have to go to therapy. Darla and Ralph Angel are doing everything they can to perform as a family unit and to provide some sort of support for him because of Nova's book and the fact that grown folks don't know how to send children out of the room and not be talking about stuff that kids shouldn't even hear. So he does see the therapist. Blue is not very talkative, but as most therapists and counselors and social workers know, if they have some sort of attachment to a toy or an inanimate object of some sort, we may be able to pull a conversation, elicit some form of conversation out of them. And so sure enough, Kendra the doll is there to save the day. And so she sends him away ultimately and talks to Darla and Ralph Angel about making a list of the dreams they have for him in their future. And, she also tells them she doesn't think that it's going to be a problem, getting Blue. It's going to be, a little therapy is what he's going to need to get through this current situation. So Ralph Angel has a lot of time to reflect. Him and Hollywood have a conversation about this therapy that Blue is undergoing. And, I'm like, dang, Hollywood, no, therapy doesn't work in just one session. It takes a lot of work. It's only 55 minutes of you sitting there talking to someone, telling them all of your issues and traumas. So I thought that was cute, but I do like that relationship that Hollywood and Ralph Angel have. So towards the end, we see where Ralph Angel makes a list, and his big life goal for him and Blue is to see Blue get to his college graduation. I thought that was a beautiful thing and very aspirational. Here we go with that. So that was pretty much Darla and Ralph Angel this episode with Blue. Thanks, Nova. Charlie. One of the big storylines of this episode was Charlie dropping her nomination in to run for city council. It is not going to be the easy road for her. She has opposition on the council. She has opposition from across the tracks in the Latino community. But one of the things that the community needs to realize is that we all need to come together to fight this road that's being built and the things that they are trying to do in our communities. It's not right. I mean, we need the economy and the jobs, but at the same time, really, Romero is very supportive of her in this endeavor. He said, the Landrys and the Boudreaux are a lot, but one very powerful word came from Sister Charlie Bordelon. She said, I am a lot. I was like, that's right, girl. That's why you are here and you are bravely running for office. Oh, while they're in these campaign offices, though, there was a very cute scene with Mr. Prosper and this lovely young lady. When I say that, she's a seasoned saint. Okay, Sister Genevieve came in, honey. You could tell there was like a little connection. Both their spouses deceased. And he was like, oh, this is so-and-so's baby sister. She was like, baby sister? Well, have you know, I am a grown woman. I can do whatever I want. No, but needless to say, Mr. Prosper and Miss Genevieve are going to get together, honey. They work in Miss Charlie's campaign. I was like, God, I love when old people find a little romance. They old, but they not cold. All right, amen. I stole that from Ambitions, Evan Lancaster Sr. on Ambitions. And if y'all ain't watching that, that's another good show. OWN definitely is churning out great programming, which is something that we all had hoped that BET would aspire for. But, that's neither here nor there. So Charlie is going to run for office, right? So she's got to overcome some barriers. She meets up with the only woman and I think that's the only black person, period, on the St. Joe's City Council. And basically the woman is telling her, we not going to support you. I read that book. I was like, that damn Nova in this damn book is becoming a problem for Charlie. But she tells her basically, well, here's the catch. If you can find out why they flipped the road from the other parish to our parish, then maybe we can work on some things. In addition, Romero tells her that you need to get with this pastor that's over this Latino church. So in order to build a bridge, as we often hear in this episode, Charlie and Romero go to attend a church festivity that they're having. And so she goes over and tries to make conversation with him, and you can tell he's kind of skeptical, as anyone would be, because here's a lesson that we learned in this episode for any politician. When you know that you've decided to run for office, or if you're even thinking about running for office, it might help if you participate in community activities Not just when it's time for you to run the office and beg for votes. That kind of don't make any sense. I know you can't be everywhere. You know that there are things that need to be done in the community. You can volunteer in your local community and make some things happen. So Charlie probably should have done that because the pastor basically told her, I'm not just going to give you my votes. Okay. Needless to say, after this church festivity, I did not know this. I thought Charlie and Romero had been getting it on, but I guess maybe not. They just been sleeping and holding one another. I was confused, but she said, we've been waiting long enough. It's time. I said, oh, Lord, the Bible study get together, the church picnic done hit y'all, didn't it? So needless to say, honey, they got it on. It was a hot night. This campaign poster that Charlie unveiled, somebody who did this. This looked like a goddamn Right On magazine cover. Okay, it looked like a Right On magazine cover. I was like, all I could think was, ooh, ladies first, ladies first, ladies first. That's all I could think about, quite frankly. While unveiling this poster, as we know with anything, when the colonizers get shook and they get scared, they decide that they gonna start doing cowardly things like throwing bricks through the campaign office. Mr. Prosper, Miss Genevieve over there in the corner, Kiki and stuff in envelopes, and Charlie and Romero are, talking, and next thing you know, it's a brick through the glass. But Charlie is unwavered. She will stand, and she is going to fight against the injustices of this community. And Romero was like, this is why you decided to run. So she puts together a community protest, a silent protest. Everybody got on the Louisiana t-shirt. It was like they tried to stop us, but we not going to be stopped. Actually, let me back that up. What it is, after her little community stand, that's when the cowards decide to throw a brick through the wall because they scared. Okay. So needless to say, Charlie gonna stand in it. Okay. She brave, because I don't know. But I don't know, why is it that cowards do that shit? As soon as you get scared and think that your little piece of the pie is going to be taken, which nobody's trying to take your pie, y'all decide to do like scare tactics. And then some of them up the ante, because we know that so many of our ancestors, as black people, we know a number of our ancestors as well as sympathizers of our situation have been lynched or just shot and killed and maimed. And it's like, why do you have to go through all of that to scare people? But needless to say, I think that happened in this episode. I may have skipped the gun. But either way, let's get into Nova and Octavia. Let me tell y'all something. Here's a lesson in this relationship. Sometimes it's best not to go back. Okay? When that bridge is burned, the romance is over, just don't go back. If they leave you, don't take them back. I learned that lesson. Don't take them back. So when the episode opened, she got her old lover with her. So she's excited because, it's nice because really she's alone on this journey, that she doesn't have a partner of any kind, male or female. She's just in this journey by herself. She doesn't have a family to share it with. And if I was Nova's friends, I would be giving her the side eye too, because I'd be like, girl, what's next? Tell all the girlfriend secrets next too? Wine and Wisdom, is that going to be the name of the next book? Where you tell all of our secrets. But she gets a phone call that says that she's been shortlisted for some sort of book award, and Octavia and her all Kiki, yay, so excited. I wanted to say Octavia need to tell her she didn't need to spill her family secrets, and she don't deserve no damn reward for destroying her family with a keyboard and a printer. Okay, so Nova has this interview with a newspaper writer, and you could tell that Octavia was just itching to get a piece of the action, right? So at first she tries to act like she's going to leave the room, and let Nova have her moment with this journalist. Child, please. She could not stay away. Dr. Laurent, he says. And she goes, well, yes, it's me. And I'm just like, oh my God. So I thought she was going to take over the interview, and she did. So when the reporter asked Nova, why did she write a story about her family? Here go Nova with that bullshit. Well, first I was looking for truth. What kind of truth were you looking for when you knew the truth about your family? But you didn't have to tell everybody else their truth, okay? And then I wanted to turn it into a broader narrative. I was like, really? Then when the journalist advised her, well, did you know that your sister is going to be running for city council in your hometown? And Nova kind of was looking like, what? Like, what? And he was like, do you think that your activism may have prompted your sister to jump in the race too? And she just kind of sat there like it was some hard question to ponder. And Octavia just jumps in and was like, well, let me answer, because obviously Nova can't answer her own questions during her own interview. Like, of course Nova influenced Charlie. What are you crazy? Of course she did. Like, just like I influenced Nova's intellect and curiosity. I mean, black girl magic. It's more than that. It's a continuum. I was like, are you gonna take over the interview? I was like, really? So afterwards, they're in bed, literally sharing a glass of wine. And I'm sorry, but Octavia, whoever wrote her lines for Cree Summers' character, did an awesome and amazing job, because it needs to be said. Now, that's some truth right there. Now, it's harsh, but it's kind of true. She said that Nova was up there concerned about her family and stuff. She was like, because it's my family. She was like, you know how I feel about family. Family are just biological accidents. And Nova was like, I hate when you say that. But I'm like, she has a point. And just like she also said, sometimes you have to leave your family in the rear view. And that's true, because family will stop you from getting to your dreams because they're afraid that you will exceed them. And another thing, one of my sorority sisters posted not too long ago is that I don't want to be around anybody that sees my success as competition. And if you really pay attention throughout this whole episode with Octavia Laurent's helicoptering around Nova, that's really what it is. But she also asked another poignant question, which was, would you be friends with your sister if you weren't related? And I think some of us, it's a great way to evaluate. Would you be friends with some of your family members if you all weren't related? And your families were taught that family is everything. Family looks out for each other. Sometimes family don't. Sometimes strangers will look out for you faster than family will. But she really is an opportunistic parasite. Like, they had some sort of lunching that I think Octavia procured an invite for, even though Nova was already invited, but some kind of way she got him upgraded to VIP or something. And, everyone is working the room and people are talking to Nova about her book and asking her about Calvin. In some kind of way, she was like, what black woman hasn't slept with a married white man, or something like that. And I was like, you are so fucking funny. Then someone else was talking to Octavia about thinking about using Nova to edit some essays from new and emerging writers. And then Octavia was like, well, I was looking for my next project. I don't think Nova really would be capable of doing it. But Nova heard her say this to her. And so she walks over and asked her, what was that about? Because the lady told Octavia before she walked out, she was like, you can write the forward, but I really want Nova's perspective on this. It's supposed to be for young and fresh writers. Face crunch. Okay. She also shares with Nova that they're going to have a meeting with Princeton's president or whatever. There's a lunch. Nova skips out on it. Instead, Nova goes to the bar. And it was a nice young man. His name was Terrence. He made her a drink that looked like it was deliciously made of bourbon. And he said, I call it drop it like it's hot. I was like, If you stick around long enough, Terrence, Nova might drop her panties like they hot too for you, boo. Because she is sexually fluid, honey. Said, you're beautiful as organic brown sugar. The whole package. I was like, come on now, boo. Can I take you home with me? I was like, oh, shit. But, he was basically asking her why was she there. And she was like, I brought somebody with me from my past that I probably shouldn't have came. I saw. I'm ready to blow this joint. So Nova kind of realizes here that sometimes you can't go back, and that's what I spoke on earlier, is that sometimes we can't go back to old loves. I've done it a couple of times, and each time I'm still single. So, I mean, and it's not, the goal is not always to get a ring, but it would be nice to have that genuine, great companionship. So Nova misses this lunch, and this is when the relationship comes to a head. This is the pivotal moment, the grand closing of this episode. And she goes, I've been up here trying to keep you motivated, and I've been here supporting you. Emotional labor is work. Baby, let me tell you something. Yes, it is. Because sometimes you can emotionally support somebody and they will still bite you in the face, bite your hand and everything else and tell you that you are the problem. But in this case, Octavia Laurent, I tell you that you are the problem, honey. You feel as though you are old and forgotten and unseen based upon some of the things that you said, and that you just wanted to be noticed. All these doors I kicked down for you, Nova, all just to be seen. And I found you and I spit shined you until I got that backwood stink off of your thinking. So Nova notes, she said, this is really a sad day. I've outgrown you. But before they even got there, I thought one of the funniest things that Octavia said was, because Nova and her got into it, and she was saying, I have this 20-year career, and then Nova was like, you can keep your 20-year career if it means lies and deceit. And then that's when she said, says the woman who threw her family under the bus for a book. I said, oh, look out, Jesus. Look out, Jesus. Okay. But Nova was remorseful during this conversation. She basically told her, I'm grateful for everything you ever did for me, but I've always charted my own course. So Nova, once again, is picking up this goddamn phone and calling folk that ain't home, and if they were home, they wouldn't take your call anyway. She calling Charlie, I'm just so proud of you, and I love you, and da-da-da-da. Do you really love your sister? Because you didn't love her enough not to include all her secrets in your damn book. What would you do for fame and fortune? Throw your family under the bus. But that completes this episode. Again, y'all, I'm so sorry. I hope you all are enjoying these reviews. I plan not to be so far behind. Number one, I plan not to ever allow someone else behavior to affect what I'm trying to do on my end, basically. But I thank you all for joining. That concludes By the Spit for Queen Sugar. So I hope that you all also have been tuning in to my YouTube and Facebook or whatever, or listening to my Diva Disturbed radio show. I've started a GoFundMe to continue the show because unfortunately my sponsor for the show pulled out because of new ownership, so they can't do it anymore. And so I'm just trying to, use the village method. If you want to give $2, $5, it doesn't matter. Whatever you want to give. I will be plugging the link down below for my GoFundMe. And hope to see you next week, next Tuesday, for my Diva Disturbed. My guest is going to be a repeat guest, but this time it's her and her husband, and they're going to talk about making music together. And because that's another component, in addition to being a comedian. You probably heard some of her stylings. But Tamika James and Lorenzo will be back on the show. But that's all I've got. Thank you all for joining. I've been Miss Sophia the Diva, and chin up, buttercups. The sun will come out, and stay fabulous.